Hi, everybody. My name is Shelvy. I'm one of the co-founders here at NexCore, and I'm really excited today. I'm sitting with Dana Kelly, or better known as
Kels.
Kels. We were just talking about that before the camera rolled.
Yes.
So where'd the nickname Kels come from?
I thought of it from my last name. It's also every male and dominant person, like in my life, authority figure, I should say, in my life, always called me by my last name. When I was in trouble, it was Kelly, So I just took it from Kelly and Kels, and so people call me that coming up, and I just said, okay, that's what I'll do. I had to think of a stage name very fast because I was going on and didn't know I was going on that night.
Wow.
That's what came up. So yeah.
We should probably clarify what that means.
Okay, so so before, and not even before, I would say my alter ego or personality was a spoken word artist. So even though I was working in corporate finance, at night I would visit the social clubs that had poetry, spoken word, and different things. I love live music and I love poetry. It's my favorite. The arts actually is like everything to me. So I nurture that in youth now, but I really nurtured it myself because it's one of those things that gave me peace, settled me whenever I was nervous and angry.
You got nothing to be nervous or angry about in life. It's perfect. Can I put you on the spot?
Of course.
Do you have a spoken word favorite, something you could do for the camera?
No. So I can't even remember.
So just for the record, anybody, that's what putting you on the spot.
That is. Oh my gosh. So yes, no, I don't have anything memorized right now. But man, I wish I would have thought about that because I would have came with something.
Next time.
Yes, next time.
In the comments, when this video goes out, you have to post.
I will.
Your favorite
I'll get a
spoken
video
word.
of myself and I'll post it. I'll find that.
So I want to take like 86 steps back and come forward because I first met you when you were on the campaign trail. I had no idea who you were. I actually went to your business for Small Business Saturday. And my business partner, Larry Cohn, said, we've got to go meet Dana Kelly. She's running for, and I don't remember what office you were running for.
Oh, it was for License Collector.
License Collector.
The business of St. Louis.
Thank you. And I went there and I met you, your business partner, Charles, and then a couple other people, just a phenomenal group of individuals. But I knew you like public eye, Dana Kelly, and as the campaign was getting close to wrapping up, you came here to NexCore for an event, and I'm like, oh, Dana Kelly is a very real person. Like, you're not just
Yes.
like you have a sense of humor that I like.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So I won't tell everybody that it's off color.
Yeah, you can tell them. You can tell them.
But tell us a little bit about who you are and just like pre-running for office. What's the DNA?
Okay, so a lot of people probably already know this, but like I started out 15. I was displaced. I was a 15-year-old displaced youth. Incidentally, just to roll up, my partner Charles now, his mother is the one who took me in when I was younger. Just to go full circle. Very special place in my heart. But so I was a 15-year-old displaced new mother. My son and we lived in shelters. We slept in cars and on the street sometimes. And we couch hopped. But again, I found a place in a home with my partner Charles, his mother, Miss Sheila. She took me in. And so, coming up and getting into that, I started my first administrative position with Blake and Davis. Andy Dillman gave me my first shot as his administrative assistant, and under him were 50 very, very white women. And it was very funny for me because I had it was kind of like being initiated, like I was just thrown in there, catapulted in, but they were so great. Andy Gilman, like I said, he gave me my first corporate type job. And then
Now, had you gone to school for that, or
no,
he
I was
literally just gave you a
he
shot?
literally just gave me a shot. He liked me when he met me, and he said, "No, she can do it." And I was like, "I can." and so I did. I did an amazing job for him. And those
It
are
sounds
his
like that
words.
was "I can?" question mark.
Oh no! Well, when he said it, it's like she can do this, I was like, I can, you know. But when I got in, I knew I had to. You know,
Right.
at this point, I was a new I had another son. And so he was about 9 months at the time, and so I had my one son. He was 4, and 5 at this point, and I had my 9-month-old. I had to make that happen. And so I got in, I learned as fast as I could, which they told me was the fastest anybody had ever learned that position. And then Andy then helped me get into State Farm. And State Farm is where I got my corporate finance beginning.
Excellent. So can we step back a little bit, and if this gets too close to home or too personal, just stop me and we can edit out. But
Okay.
what I imagine having a child living in a shelter, stuff happens, right? Things are scary.
Yes.
Are you comfortable? Because I imagine there's women right now that are in the exact same position now that you were in then. And you made it. You made it out. But you probably went through some stuff. What's the scariest thing that happened when you were in the shelter?
There was this man, and I woke up, and he was on top of me, and my son was laying under me. And my friend, she was with me a lot, Keisha. I woke up to him on top of me and her fighting him off me. And we were trying to also get my son because he was under me at the time. And it was one of the scariest things because I usually didn't sleep so hard, and I didn't even understand why I was sleeping so hard. But that was one of the scariest things that ever happened, to wake up. And also when we were out, the cars, we would sleep in cars that weren't being used overnight. You know, people's cars that were out. And I would test to see if the doors were unlocked, and whoever door was unlocked, I just climbed in the back seat and slept with my son until the buses started running. And they started at 4:25. That's a time I'll never forget. But they started running at 4:25 in the morning. So those were one of my most scariest times because I would always just pray nobody would find us. I didn't want anything out of their car. I just wanted somewhere to sleep that wasn't outside. So.
Wow. What? I appreciate you sharing that. That's obviously a very personal.
Well, that's part of my work today as well. I'm with the Women's Foundation. I'm also with the National Women's Political Caucus, fighting for a lot of rights that I didn't have as a 15-year-old girl. There were a lot of choices I could not make without my parents, and things would have been, I think, a great deal different. So that's a big reason that I fight for reproductive rights. We have to protect the mental health of our young ladies, our youth, and our young men now. They are being subjected to disease and pregnancy, against their will, and they should have the right to heal in a manner in which they see fit. So I'm on the boards of, like I said, National Women's Political Caucus and the Women's Foundation, and the one that you met me, Girls Lead and Make Moves, GLAM. And that is just to insert all of the esteem that we can and start them from the beginning, as opposed to finding them in a bad situation.
Sure. That's really pretty amazing. How did you...
Thank you.
I mean, was it just the opportunity that you were given that started you down this path? So your first job, is that what moved you in this direction now, or was there like a deeper calling?
There was a deeper calling. My son that I had when I was 15, he was born with tuberous sclerosis. I didn't know what was wrong. I just knew it too. He wasn't walking. And it was about He was about 1.5 before he even started crawling. And I asked the doctors about it, and they said, it doesn't matter how advanced his father and I were, he is going to learn in his own time. He is not going to be like the other children. I can't put a time on when he'll develop. And I said, yes, but this is still abnormal, And so he was almost 3. He was almost 3 when I finally just said, hey, what would you do if this was your child, if this was your son? Don't speak to me as if I have nothing, and the way you've been speaking to me is like, little girl, this, because I did. I looked like I was 13, with my 3-year-old.
Right.
But it still didn't
18
warrant.
at that point, though,
I was
right?
18.
Okay.
I was 18 at that point, but I looked pretty young to be 18. So they all treated me the way I looked, which was probably a lot more homely and very young, because I think I could pass for about 12 or 13 when I was 18.
Wow.
And so I just asked him to basically, look at me, see yourself, and what would you do? What would be your advice to you if this were you and your son sitting in my seat? And that's when he said, I'm like, money aside. And that's when the doctor started giving me all of the resources that were available for children to find out the diagnosis. And it took over a year then to get that, because of course I couldn't afford the places that he was sending me. This is at Cardinal Glennon. I finally got to go to Knights of Columbus, and they're the ones who help fund and give my son his diagnosis, which is tuberous sclerosis, tumors of the brain, heart, and kidney. The way it's placed in his brain, it did cause a learning delay. So he was delayed. He was delayed, essentially, as I was saying, to the doctor for years. And we didn't get that head start that we needed because of that. But my son, I tell this story because my son, he was my first advocating experience. He was the first person I had to advocate for, and essentially advocating for myself. And then I thought, how many other mothers aren't looking into this because they don't know to, or because they feel they don't have enough, because they don't have the strength to. And that's when my advocating for any and everybody just took off at that point. Yeah, somebody has to fight.
Is that what propelled you into, you live a very public life now?
Yes, I do.
Is that why, or was there?
I'm assuming that, it just kind of snowballed. It's just getting bigger and bigger. I believe we should do what's right when it comes to any and everybody. So, yes, from my son with special needs, and it was early on when I found out my son is gay. And so those are also things that my son is a huge reason that I fight for a lot of things. He's the reason I know that it's not a choice. And because no one with his amazing brain would choose something like that for his life. And so he's the reason I got more educated in the LGBTQIA organizations and communities.
A friend of mine, Michelle, wasn't always Michelle, but it's funny because you said that, and like I didn't know when you were going to stop with the letters, because there's like 20 of them.
So many.
I'm like, how many is she going to go through?
I know. I try to stop at the A.
So it's amazing just the awareness, even in the last couple of years, about those types of issues. How old is your son now?
He's 24. So when he was diagnosed, and we found the tumors in his heart and his brain, he didn't have any in the kidney. But where they were in his heart and his brain, they gave him the educated guess, and his education level they gave us was 6th grade, and they said he may live to 19 because of the placement on his heart. And I just, because they had failed me so much, it's just like, I can't take that to heart. Like, we just have to live and fight for every single day until we pass these benchmarks. So basically you're saying, can I get him past 6th grade level education? Yes, we will do this, and can I do everything in my power for him to live past 19? Yes, we will do this. And that's what we have doctors for. So we'll get every test I can get, and I did. I found every grant I could find and all of the help that they would give me. I sold everything I had when he was in kindergarten. I sold everything I had, and we moved into an apartment in Baldwin because in the schools, in the districts there in Parkway, they had speech therapists and the occupational therapists, and also they had those on staff. They could order them for the kids. In the city schools, they could not. So, and the special needs classes were defined. So he wasn't put in a classroom where he didn't need as much attention as the others, so he was ignored. So that was very important to me. And so, like I said, I sold everything I had, and we moved out there. They had beds in their bedrooms, but we didn't have any furniture anywhere else in the house. And that, humble beginnings, just humble beginnings. They needed to know they were loved, so they had furniture and stuff in their rooms, and we did, and my son got the education he needed. And so for the doctors that said he wouldn't learn past 6th grade and he would live past 19, I'm proud to always announce that he's now 24, and he's in his 5th year at Harris State University with assisted learning. Yes. So he still gets his IEP, but he has assisted learning, but he's in his 5th year and he's not a quitter.
Wow.
He's not a quitter. So I love him. He's not going to stop until he gets that degree.
What is the prognosis for his condition? Is it something that now the advances are there where, like back then they said 19, now he's 24, right. So...
Well, they just keep looking at the placement and that there is no growth, and I am just one of maybe many that were blessed. I know myself, specifically, I was blessed enough, and he was blessed enough to grow around the tumor in his heart, and it hasn't canceled him out. We go to the doctor and we check him out, and he's healthy. It's just his diagnosis hasn't been to his detriment, and that's been a blessing to us. So we just continue to live, and we continue to go to the doctor and catch it. Now the only thing is, it is hereditary. So if he were to decide to have children, strangely enough, because it's hereditary, and we found out about this, his grandmother then went and got herself checked out when he was young. She always had problems coming up, and she was always made fun of. Now we're talking about, his grandmother has her master's in special education too, by the way. But she was in a city school, so that didn't help us much.
Right.
With him being, but so anyways, she went as far as to receive her master's, and when we found out about my son, she went and got tested and found out she does have it, and they are placed in her brain, and that was something that delayed her and slowed her a little bit when coming up.
Yeah, but you're using words like grandmother.
Yes.
For someone that was told not past 19. So that's a lot of hope.
That's a lot of hope. And kids now, it's not a death sentence with tuberous sclerosis with as many as it used to be. They're finding persons that live, like Dante's grandmother and Dante. So my son is Dante.
That's amazing. What would you say to... That's a lot of adversity that you've gone through. And, candidly, I don't know a lot of people that could have gone through that come out with the smile that you share every day.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that.
So, sure. What would you say to women? And we talked about the young ladies,
Yeah.
but what would you say to women that are in their 30s and their 40s looking to redefine a career but have so much, I want to choose my words so they're not
No, you're fine.
offensive, but
Yeah.
you got a lot of stuff
Yeah. Yes.
that's hit you, plagued you, stays with you today.
Yes.
And you've just redefined your entire career, really, in the last couple of years.
And
So
that isn't strange to a lot of black women. It's just not. It's not a strange effect on a lot of black women, and women in general. There are a lot of women that aren't of color that go through this, but I know that a lot of black women, this is a plague. However, what I do say to every woman I meet, it's important to just look at everything and get up every single day and make as many right decisions as possible. That is how I know what to do, but a lot of times I don't do everything I'm supposed to. And imperfection is God's favorite. So I always consider myself his favorite because he spared me from so much. So many times I could have been caught in the back of somebody's car, and so many times I could have been attacked where I was actually given grace and great people. My life has been, even though I've had the obstacles I've had great people. And just today, I have you and Larry who see me and not see my situation, in my life, and my past. And so I say to every woman that I meet, just get up every day and make as many right decisions as you can. And everything will start falling in place. And when I say as many right decisions as you can, if you find things that are affecting your anxiety, eliminate them. It's hard, but I promise it's only hard for just a couple minutes, just a few days. You know what I'm saying? Then and maybe in a few weeks you won't know or even feel that again.
what are some things that you've had to eliminate that were causing anxiety or stress? And feel free to say, let's not go there, but if you want to go there, because those involve difficult decisions. And not everybody, you look at the pain. I'll share a story that was told to me, and it kind of reminds me of what you said. It was, so guys in line to order food at McDonald's, the 3 people in front of them order a Big Mac and they all have a heart attack right there.
Oh no.
When you go up there 4th in line, do you still order a Big Mac? And so that's a very black and white, I'm walking away. But for most people that are doing that and they're eating the Big Mac every day, just because it doesn't take them right then, they're willing to let it kill them.
Yeah. I was
Because
say, why
they're
are we still in
unwilling
line?
to walk away. Because the reality is, if we could go to the gym and do crunches 100 times and have 6-pack abs, we'd all be at the gym.
Yes.
Once.
Yes.
But
Yes.
because it doesn't have the immediate results we're looking for, and because it doesn't kill us right away, we allow ourselves a slow death a lot of times.
True.
So the willingness to walk away, that's tough.
It
Because
is.
that's against the grain.
It is tough. And I define that in friends and business relationships, in employment. I had one woman, not one, but plenty of women, but specifically, I cry every day when I go to work and I don't know what to do. And I mean, it's easy to say pray.
Right.
And give them your notice. But what I also say is, hey, start looking right now. I understand how transition can be, because that's the other thing with people. They're so afraid of change. They're so afraid of change.
For sure.
And so speaking transition into people's life is a big deal. And then when they see, a lot of times when they hear my story, which I share an awful lot, they say, well, damn, maybe I can do it, So like if you
That's
did
what
it
I've
at
been saying
16,
after hearing your
17,
story. Holy cow.
so maybe I can do it, so that part, I share my life, and I always work on humbling myself. When running for office was one of the hardest things for me. Let my mother tell it. My mom and my father, extremely proud of me, very accomplished. They just didn't see what would happen with me, with everything that was happening as a young lady. And but I don't know how to speak about my accomplishments. I don't know, because I'm always putting those in the back end so that I can uplift and empower someone else. So that was a big deal for me, sharing anything that I've gotten, or any awards that I've won, and all the different moves and partnerships that I have, because I want that for the next person. So speaking about myself was really one of the toughest things during the campaign. And I say that because when empowering people, and like I said, humbling myself, I have to usually pull from the darkest parts of my life and say, look, but I'm smiling, and my kids are so freaking healthy. And I get up every morning intentionally thinking about all the things I have instead of the things I don't. Even when debt was around the corner from my most recent divorce, I'm like, hey, but I have a whole lot. You know what I mean? I have a lot, and not a lot of people can say or sit in the position in which I'm in.
Sure.
And that's the part that I have to focus on. And my kids, they're healthy and they're brilliant. So I have four.
Four.
My kids, they call each other sets. So the first set, which my younger kids call, they're 24 and 20 from my first marriage.
Okay.
And then my most recent marriage, we have an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. So three boys and one girl. So yeah, exciting.
How do your kids feel about your public life?
Oh, so my 24 and my 20-year-old, they're in college. And funny story, my 24-year-old went viral while I was running for office. He went viral on.
I think I saw this.
World
by the way.
Star. I think you did, because I think you were one of the texts I received. Hey, this would happen to be your son, right? But he went viral, and that was a big what to do, because then his status was released, like who he was, being a young gay man, and Dana Kelly's son, and he was on school grounds at the time. Again, I say my son is learning delayed. So a lot of things that he does with his friends, he is involved because he trusts the people he's with, and they're usually very good people. He just so happened to be in the wrong situation at that time. And so anyway, he went viral, and he came up and about 4 days later, now this is 4 days after I got your text, and a lot of other texts, and said, Mom, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, are we talking about this viral thing? Because I found out about that a week ago.
Right.
That's his personality. So anyways, they don't like my public life because they can't do anything without my son, my 20-year-old. He gets pulled over. Police officer calls, hey, Dana, this your son? Because we have great police. We have a great relationship with the police officers, county and St. Louis City.
Right.
So they'll call and they'll say, hey, is this your son I have? And I'm like, oh my God, is it? Yes. And he's like, well, he was speeding. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll definitely talk about that. And thank you, for letting me know and not doing, the worst. And I've had more of those experiences for my children, thank God, than myself and my ex-husband had, which was the abuse by the police, both of us. So that was better. But yeah, so
fantastic.
those are the part I don't like about my public life. Just everybody knowing exactly who they are and getting me on the phone like right away. Which is really, they don't like that part.
So just in wrapping up, a couple more
I'm
things.
sorry.
No, you're great. What is your favorite place, favorite venue, favorite thing that people would need to see if they come to St. Louis? As an advocate for the city, what do people need to see when they come to St. Louis?
Oh my God. So, NexCore, one. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'll take it.
NexCore, one.
We did
But
not show up on any top 10 must-see lists.
No.
I checked. There was things
They
like
have to
Forest
get
Park
in
and the
here.
Arch, and we
my
were
God.
nowhere on.
If they knew how many amazing people were here, they would visit. They would freaking visit all the time. But yeah, so come to NexCore, talk to all the people that work there, and they're so friendly. Yeah. But I would always, I like I love our Forest Park area. I love our museum, our history museum. And just recently, I got to take the kids to the museum on Olive, our new setup, and that is an amazing place for them to go near Aloe Plaza and all that downtown. So I would definitely encourage them to get to our Forest Park and visit our museums and our downtown area.
Love downtown.
Full of air, full of art.
And it's coming back.
Yes.
It's coming back.
Yes.
Are you from St. Louis originally?
Yes, I am. Born and raised, North Side and South Side, because we were city people.
All right. This is the most important question I'm going to ask. Mozzarella or Provel?
Provel.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's how I know.
That's how
Like, you could say you're from here, but I'm going to find out when I ask that question.
Provel.
And just closing out, you've got some great things going on with your business, the firm,
Yes.
and it's tax season.
It's tax
Right?
season. Yes.
So we're going to see some people come. You've
Oh.
relocated your business. You're here.
Relocated. So we moved from the Wyoming address to now here at 2631 Grabway in the NexCore building, Suite 579, and I am enjoying this family. It feels so good and safe. A lot of people don't know this, but tax season has me until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and a lot of officers, thank you officers, will escort me from my office at night. They would, any of the ones that were on duty, they would make sure I got to my car safely. And this has been going on for almost 16 years. So making sure that I got home safe was a big deal, and I feel a lot safer here with this community. So this is working out.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Is there any last parting words, anything you want to share with anybody that might be wondering what's next for Dana Kelly, or what's up with Dana Kelly? Or
Well, I do plan on running again. I will not say when and what office, but I do plan on running for office again for the city of St. Louis. It will be citywide. So I do want them to be looking for Dana Kelly in that sense. But also come to NexCore, visit with people, come to the firm. We don't only do taxes, we do all lines of insurance. And I'm a financial specialist. We can walk through your life and I can help in those areas. There are so many people here on board that can help you basically with anything. I've noticed that here too. So I'm excited. So anyone that wants to know about Dana Kelly can absolutely come visit NexCore. They're going to see me. I won't be leaving ever. It seems like I'll be living here probably for this first quarter. So
Anthony and I live here as well. So.
Yes, I noticed.
Well, Dana, thank you so much for being with us today. Congratulations on your success, future success, and more importantly, and this is a message I want to share because you just shared it with me. Congratulations on your failures.
Thank you.
Because you've taken them to new heights and done great things with them, and other people will benefit from what you've had to go through, and I'm honored to know you.
Oh my God, thank you. And
You're welcome.
I feel the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching.